I found this unique and beautiful house for sale in the mountains in southern Brazil, and I thought it'd be interesting to share it with you. And the property is in the city of Gramado, which is located in the mountains in the state of Rio Grande do Sul, the most southern state in Brazil. And I've talked about Gramado many times in my videos. It's a very organized, safe, calm, and affluent town. And the property is in a gated community. It's called O Bosque, which means the woods or the forest. And it's a bit special because it has a preserved forest within the gated community, along with the usual things like a swimming pool, a gym, playground, and tennis courts. And the actual property has 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Total size is 245 square meters, and the size of a plot of land is 980 square meters. And the estate agent selling this property is Bruno Finch, and I'll leave a link to him in the description below. So let's have a look at this property. So I think the property looks very cozy, and the estate agent decided to film this property on a wet, foggy day, I think to make it more charming and mysterious. And yeah, Gramado is quite high up in the mountains, so it does have some foggy days, but also it has many sunny days as well. So I don't think the weather is like this all the time in Gramado. So the house has been designed in a traditional style, and I prefer these houses a lot more than the new boxy grey houses that everyone's building at the moment. I just think these houses have a lot more character. You can see the house is surrounded by trees. Some of these are on the property. Also next to the house you've got a preserved forest as well. So there's no risk of anyone cutting down these trees and building a house right next to you. And then the house has a nice porch and deck in the front here, where you can sit and enjoy the garden and the nature. And on the side of the house it's got a conservatory, well, or I think in the US you call it sunroom. So when it's a bit cold and raining, then you can sit in there and still enjoy the garden. And it's got a nice large gravel driveway as well. But it doesn't have a garage though. It just has this pergola on the side of a house where you can park the car. Obviously you can change that and just put a roof and wall and make it into a garage. So let's go into the house and have a look inside. So it's quite open plan. So you've got the kitchen, dining area and living room all in one space. Here on the left you've got the kitchen and the dining area. And then on the right is the living room. It's got nice wooden flooring, and also it's got wooden beams in the ceiling as well to give it that older style, which I think looks really good. So here's the kitchen. So in front you've got an island with a stove, and on the right you have the sink and more storage. And then also there is a pantry as well. I personally think the kitchen's a bit small. I would have preferred more worktop space, because there isn't that much. And then you've got the dining table here with a nice spiky light above it. And here's the living room with a nice fireplace. And then there's more storage around the fireplace and the TV. It's the same color and style as the kitchen. I think that's a nice touch. And also another thing you can see here is on the wall to the right, there's a radiator. So this house has central heating, which is not very common in Brazilian houses. But in Gramado, where it gets a bit cold in winter, the temperatures can fall down to below 0. So here a few houses have central heating. That's a big positive about this house. And then to the right here is the conservatory or sunroom. And the views from this room are really nice. Although the glass is probably not double glazing, it's probably just a single pane of glass. So I'm not sure how cold it gets in here in wintertime. Obviously the central heating will help, but I'm not sure how well this room keeps the heat in wintertime. So okay, let's go back to the kitchen and have a look at the other rooms next to the kitchen. And you can also see that the windows in the house are very big. They nearly go all the way down to the floor. So that's nice, lets in a lot of light. And the room here to the left is the laundry room. You've got another door here which leads outside. And then you've got another sink in here, space for a washer dryer. For some reason they haven't put a washer dryer in here. Instead they put the fridge in here. So that kind of shows that the kitchen's pretty small, so they didn't have a space to put the fridge in the kitchen, so they put it in the laundry room. And then next to that you have another small room, and so this they've called a pantry, although they haven't got much in here apart from one cupboard and a chair. And then next to it you have a downstairs bathroom, which is nice. And then this green box here is the barbecue. So this house has a charcoal barbecue inside the house, which is pretty common here in the south. And then straight ahead here you have one of the bedrooms with an ensuite. This is a nice size, very nice, big windows, lets in lots of light. Although personally I'm not a fan of these massive windows that go down all the way to the floor in bedrooms. I kind of think it makes sense to have these big windows in living rooms and so on, but I'm not sure if I would want such big windows in bedrooms though. Here's the ensuite bathroom, which is nice. And you've got radiators in both the bedroom and the bathroom, which is good. Okay, so that's the downstairs of the house. So you can see it's not a massive house. It's 240 square meters. But then you have more bedrooms upstairs. So let's have a look at that. So they've got wooden floors up here as well. And straight ahead is the second bedroom, which is an okay size. But the slanting ceiling does make it look a bit smaller and also makes it a bit more difficult to put wardrobes in here. But it's got lots of windows. I don't know why they haven't opened the shutters to do this filming though. But I'm sure the views must be nice. And you've got a nice big window here in the stairway as well. And then here to the right you have the master bedroom. So you come in and you see the ensuite bathroom. A lot of people like to integrate the bathroom with the bedroom without a wall. Only the toilet and the shower have their own room. I'm not a big fan of that. I just prefer the whole bathroom to be in a separate room. It all looks nice and modern. And here's the master bedroom, which is a nice size. You've got lots of space here to fit wardrobes. And there's lots of windows in the master bedroom as well, so that's very nice. I like the high ceiling with the wooden beams as well. Okay, and that's the inside of the house. Okay, so now let's go outside and have a look at the garden. So you've got a nice big gravel driveway here, and then you've got a nice little lawn here in the front garden, with lots of trees everywhere. And then you've got a little gravel pathway here in the front garden. And here you can see the porch and the deck as well. And on the other side of the conservatory, you can see they've got a storage area there, and then the back garden carries on into the forest. And on the side here to the right is the protected forest, so that's not part of the property, but no one can ever build there. So it's a very nice garden. With all of these trees, the garden's going to get a lot of shade, which in summertime when it's very hot is probably good. But in wintertime when it gets a bit cold, maybe you do want a bit more sunshine coming through. So this garden has its pros and cons. But I think you can prune some of the branches to let in a bit more sunlight if you want to. So here's the decking with a nice seating area. And there's a tree in the decking here, so the decking goes around this tree, so that's a nice feature. You can see how big and tall these pine trees are. And these trees are called Araucaria. And you find these a lot in the south of Brazil, and they're protected as well, so you can't just go around chopping down these trees. Okay, and that's the property, and you probably want to know what the asking price is, and it is 4,480,000 reais, which is $851,000. So that's quite a hefty price tag. And the asking price was higher a few months ago. It was 4,980,000 reais, which is 946,000. So they reduced the price by about $100,000, but it's still pretty high. I mean, I really like this house. I think it's charming. I like the traditional style. I like that it's surrounded by these forests. And also the inside of the house is nice with the wooden flooring and the wooden beams in the ceiling. And you can see it's been recently refurbished as well. So if you buy this house, you can just immediately move in. But there are some negatives. So first of all, it's not the biggest house. It's only got 3 bedrooms. The kitchen's not that big. I thought the layout was a bit weird. And also it doesn't have a garage. But property in general is very expensive in Gramado. Gramado is a very affluent, touristy town. Everyone wants to buy a house or an apartment in the mountains in Gramado. So the demand is pretty high and prices is just constantly increasing. And also the fact that this property is in a gated community, that adds a premium to it. And so that makes it even more expensive. What I would say is that you don't need to live in a gated community in Gramado. It's really safe here. So you can just live in a normal neighborhood, and also that means that the house will be cheaper. But living in a gated community obviously gives you access to a swimming pool, tennis courts, playground and gym. So yeah, I won't be making an offer on this property, but I thought it was quite unique, so I wanted to share it with you. So I hope you liked this video. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you've got any comments, leave in the comment section below. So thanks for watching. Until next time.